Salam sejahtera saya Ahmad. Ini kamu.
Hello there, you're now with me, Douglas Elliott, for TVS English News at 5. We dive straight into the headlines. The ongoing fierce fighting between the Sudanese armed forces and a paramilitary group called the Rapid Support Forces have left at least 83 people dead and over 1,000 wounded, according to World Health Organization (WHO). The violence, which began on Saturday, was sparked by a disagreement over the integration of the paramilitary forces into the military as part of its transition towards civilian rule.
The WHO said casualties were reported across Sudan's Khartoum, South Kordofan, North Darfur, Northern State and other regions since April 13, with the heaviest concentration of fighting now taking place in Khartoum city. The United Nations mission in Sudan says the two sides agreed to a 3-hour pause in fighting to allow humanitarian evacuations, but the deal was ignored after a short period of calm. The RSF says it is in control of the presidential palace, Khartoum airport, and other vital facilities, claims the armed forces have denied. Witnesses say the Sudanese armed forces appear to have gained the upper hand on Sunday in a power struggle, with the paramilitary RSF pounding their bases with airstrikes. The fighting between the Sudanese armed forces and the RSF has pitted the president against his vice president in a struggle for control of Africa's third largest country. Both men had emerged as leaders of the transitional government after a 2019 coup that ousted Omar al-Bashir, who was in power for 30 years. Now, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, president of Sudan's military government, and his rival Lieutenant General Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo, better known as Hemeti, vice president and head of the RSF, are in open warfare. The two sides have been trading accusations of initiating the conflict. Some fear the violence could yet descend into full-scale civil war.
Meanwhile, back home, the young Di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riyatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah today advised the government to be prepared to bring home Malaysians in Sudan if the conflict in the country arises, to which Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim responded by saying that the government will repatriate Malaysians if the situation poses a risk to their safety.
In a posting on Istana Negara's Facebook page, His Majesty calls on to all Malaysians to pray for the safety and well-being of their fellow countrymen in Sudan following the current crisis in the country. Meanwhile, Anwar said that the government is closely monitoring the conflict in Sudan. The conflict, which involves the Sudanese army and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces (RSF), has sparked political turmoil and threatened security in the country. Foreign Minister Dato Sri Dr. Zamri Abdul Qadir, in a statement on Sunday, advised Malaysians in Sudan to be vigilant and not take the risk of going out for the time being. Zamri said an interagency meeting had also been held to gather all information about the current situation in Sudan and discuss the proposals to ensure the safety of Malaysians during the conflict.
In Selangau, 2 drivers succumbed after a head-on collision along the Jalan Selangau Muka. Fire and Rescue Department Bomba Selangau chief, the collision involving 2 four-wheel drive vehicles occurred at around 11:15 Monday morning. Rescue team had to use a special tool to extricate both victims from the vehicles, and shortly afterwards, both were pronounced dead at the scene by medical personnel. Meanwhile, 3 other victims were rushed to Selangau Clinic for further treatment. The victim is identified as 57-year-old Lingam Ngabok, while the other victim is yet to be identified at press time. Authorities have identified the man in Sibu, believed to have fallen to his demise on Sunday. According to Fire and Rescue Department Bomba Sibu Chief Ali. The victim in his 40s is believed to be a foreign national from the Philippines. In the late Sunday afternoon incident, onlookers watched in horror as the man acted erratically as attempts by the rescuers to persuade the man to calm down failed. The deceased was pronounced dead at the scene by medical professionals, and the body was handed over to the police for further action. Those going through emotional stresses are encouraged to seek help by calling befrienders at the number shown. The public are urged to take extra caution following the onset of the hot and dry spell in Malaysia. State's Energy and Environmental Sustainability Deputy Minister Dr. Hazlan Abanghibni said the country is now experiencing the transition to the southwest monsoon period, which typically occurs from May to September, bringing along with it drier southwest wind and low air humidity. At the same time, he warned the public to avoid irresponsible open burning activities during the period, as it can lead to haze, and stressed that the government would not hesitate to take action against those who committed the offense.
The public are advised to report cases of open burning to the Fire and Rescue Department, as well as the state's Natural Resources and Environment Board (NREB), noting that Sarawak government is ready to face the hot weather by increasing monitoring efforts on open burning and haze. Additionally, he advised the public to take adequate preventive measures, such as by reducing outdoor activities and staying hydrated. According to Met Malaysia, Sarawak and Sabah recorded temperature readings between 24.7 and 34.0 degrees Celsius from the period of February 21st to 27th, and a high of 36 degrees Celsius in the past few days. However, Hazlan assured that the situation is not related to the El Niño phenomenon, which can cause the situation to be worse than usual. He added that Met Malaysia is constantly monitoring the situation and will inform the public of any new developments.
In similar developments, Sarawak Fire and Rescue Department Bomba Director Datuk Khairuddin Rahman said has assured that his department and other relevant agencies will be stepping up its open burning monitoring efforts in view of the dry and hot weather. He said from January till April of this year, 168 cases of open burning were recorded throughout the state, with cases involving bush, weed and grass fire accounted for the highest bulk with 92 cases.
Additionally, garbage waste accounted for 61 cases, forest fires made up 8 cases, while plantations, farms and timber each recorded 3 cases, and peat fire with 1 case. Zone-wise, Miri recorded the highest number of open burning cases with 54 incidents, followed by Sibu 35, Kuching 32, Bintulu 28, Samarahan 12, Limbang 4 and Sri Aman with 3. On the hazy conditions in the state, Khairuddin stressed the need for caution and protection measures during open burning or slash-and-burn methods used in land clearing for farming. He called upon the public to report any suspected cases of open burning to the authorities immediately.
The Kenyalang Film Festival seeks remarkable young and budding filmmakers through diverse, engaging and appealing short films and documentaries highlighting Sarawak or Borneo. The inaugural event, set to take place on May 8 to 9, is aimed at inspiring and empowering young film talents in Borneo and fostering creative collaborations between the media industry and local communities.
Hosted by Curtin University Malaysia and supported by TVS, the Kenyalang Film Festival provides a platform for the young filmmakers to meet experienced filmmakers for mentorship and funding opportunities. Comprising 2 categories, the contest is open for secondary school or tertiary students category and an open category for inspiring filmmakers in the public. Participation is free of charge, and international students or foreigners living in Malaysia are also encouraged to participate in the festival. Organized by Curtin Bachelor of Communication students, the festival is sponsored by an engineering company, Wihaya Sendirian Berhad. For more information on the festival, contact the organizers via Instagram or email as shown.
Welcome back. The government is giving its assurance that food supply will remain sufficient throughout the Aidilfitri celebration. Minister of Domestic Trade and Cost of Living, Dr. Sri Salahuddin Ayub, said the people need not worry, seeing as the authorities are regularly monitoring the supply to ensure adequacy.
Saya jangan panik ya, membeli bakalan cukup. Kementerian Pertanian dah sebut semua bakalan cukup. Ayam cukup, telur cukup, semua cukup, sayur cukup. Jadi bergembiralah untuk berbelanja dengan harga ramah.
Meanwhile, he reminded the public to lodge complaints should they find any sellers who inflate the price of goods above the set prices.
Saya harap rakyat dapat dipandu ya dan dapat merujuk skim senarai skim harga maksimum yang telah kita umumkan setiap rakyat, termasuklah yang telah kami umumkan lebih kurang 3 hari yang lalu dan dah bermula semalam. Semak item situ betul-betul, barangan itu betul-betul. Sekiranya berlakunya kenaikan yang melampau, sekiranya ada peniaga yang menjual pada harga yang melampau, sila adukan segera.
He said this when met by reporters after visiting a Rahmah Ramadan Bazaar at Stadium Sultan Muhammad IV, Kota Baru on Sunday.
In a bit of a foreign update, South Korea, Japan and the United States are set to stage joint naval missile defense exercises today as they aim to increase their security cooperation to better counter North Korea's evolving missile threats. The announcement comes just days after the three nations agreed to conduct regular missile defense and anti-submarine exercises at their trilateral talks in Washington.
The exercises on Monday will take place in international waters between Korea and Japan and will bring together South Korea's 7,600-ton Aegis destroyer Yulgok Yi-1, the U.S. guided missile destroyer USS Benfold, and Japan's Atago destroyer. According to the South Korean Navy, the focus of the exercises will be on mastering response procedures from detection to tracking to information sharing. Tensions have been simmering in the region as North Korea has been ramping up military activities, including testing a new solid-fuel intercontinental ballistic missile last week. Experts say this would facilitate missile launches with little warning. Pyongyang has also threatened more practical and offensive action, as South Korea and U.S. forces have been carrying out their annual springtime exercises since March, some of which involved Japan. In addition to the joint naval exercises, South Korean and U.S. Air Forces are also set to begin their drills today for a 12-day run.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. More headlines anytime, head to our website at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media. And that's the quarter-hour update on News at 5. I'm Douglas Elliott. Thank you for watching. Until then.